Everybody, welcome to Poli Games. I'm your host, Joseph. I'm still a bit sick, but I feel like you guys deserve a video. And what better video than on the eve of revealing the Xbox Scorpio, of what it is. Eurogamer, Digital Foundry is going to have the first-hand reveal of the Xbox Scorpio, at least the components of it. So today I want to talk about what Microsoft needs to do to reinvigorate the brand, to make the brand appealing again. And to let my bias be known, I do co-host a podcast called My Xbox and Me. I love my Xbox just as much as I love my PlayStation 4, my Switch, my PC. I own it all. And also, just so you know, I'm not blowing any smoke up my own ass. All the information I've gotten are from the links down below. So with that said, let's be all honest with each other here and say that the Xbox One has not had a very good run ever since its launch. And to say a very good run is an understatement. It's kind of been a disaster since day one. With the reveal of this console, you had the DRM crisis, you had the mixed communication, you had the always-on Connect, you had the Connect just bundled in with it, the price of the console, right? All those things helped make for a firestorm of failure, really. When that console came out, the PlayStation 4 just outsold it, and outsold it for years. And it's up to the point now where the PlayStation is 57 million plus units out there in the wild, where Xbox's estimate is around 26 million. So first, right off the bat, Xbox needs to do something here. Because now this Xbox One has been known for, its underwhelming launch, its underwhelming set of games, the cancellation of several games, shuttering of studios like Lionhead, cancellation of games like Phantom Dust, like Fable Legends, like Scalebound, games that were cool and that looked really interesting, and the exclusives that once sold huge gangbusters, even like Halo and Gears, have underperformed. Almost all of the Xbox exclusives, except for the Forza series, has underperformed for Microsoft. And that, my friends, is a terrible thing. Xbox needs to start reinvesting in itself. So the number one thing for Scorpio to do is stop bragging about the tech inside your box and start bragging about what software plays well with that tech. For games, hardware does not sell hardware. Software sells hardware. You hear that all the time, and it's so very much true. Some of the questions I get asked all the time are, why should I buy an Xbox One right now? And the question and the answer is, unfortunately, maybe you should hold off. Maybe you should hold off for the Scorpio, or just not buy an Xbox One at this point if you're so on the fence about it. Because a lot of people see PlayStation, they see the success with their exclusives, whether it be Bloodborne, whether it be Until Dawn, Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn, which has sold very well, and then they look at the future of the PlayStation brand and they see God of War, Last of Us, Uncharted. They see games in the future that look interesting, that look cool, that hold promise that this console is going to be supported. And when you look at the Xbox One, what is there in the future? Sea of Thieves? Crackdown 3? That's about it, right? And this is not to shit on Xbox. This is not to shit on Microsoft. Because I feel like Phil Spencer's done a great job bringing this ship around. But what they really ought to focus on is software. Where at E3, Phil Spencer is talking about a lineup with Scorpio, treating Scorpio like its own console, whether they are trying to bridge and make the ecosystem one, or whether they're trying to make this the place or the Xbox 1.5. They need to treat Scorpio like its own device, like it's let's be honest, a reboot. They need to have that software out there, a lineup that says, you know what, that looks awesome, and I'm going to get a Scorpio because this looks awesome. And what I mentioned earlier about bridging the brands together is what the Xbox One has done very well so far, which is backwards compatibility. Backwards compatibility has been a selling point for the Xbox One ever since they announced it. And I feel like it is a pretty big deal if you're able to also bring in original Xbox games as well. There's been rumors for a while that this would be happening, but I would love this big meaty console, if it's going to be that $600 plus machine. I would like it to be the hub where I play all my Xbox titles. Whether that is Xbox One, 360, or the original Xbox, I would love that to be the hub of where console or where your Xbox games are played. Because now you're going after the people that want a nostalgia trip, people who are collectors, and then also at the same time you're getting that hardcore audience that wants the best out of their machine. Not only that, but you also are able to make money on old IP, years old, with really just putting them on a marketplace. Being able to buy them, yes, at your mom and grop shops, but also being able to buy them online gives you a great opportunity and your publishers out there to put games on this ecosystem that are years old, and everybody makes money. Everybody wins. The next thing that I would love to see out of Microsoft is something that we have been seeing for the last few years now, which is trying to bridge the divide, trying to go into a different marketplace and see if you make money there. Go into a realm where people have tried and failed and try to succeed in it. And you see Nintendo doing that with the Nintendo Switch, trying to go into the mobile meets console market and finding a home there. Because just being a console on its own, you're now going up against that Sony juggernaut, that 57 plus million units against 0 Scorpios, right? So what you need to do as a company is go out there and meet the PC meets console experience. To me, that's an awesome idea. To me, that gives games, multiplayer games, MMOs, a home on your console, but also gives them life on your console. You see games like Final Fantasy, like Rocket League, have cross-platform, and it works out for those two games because the communities are now so large and so lively. And when you have a big community, you have a lively community. So to me, branching out and putting your games on PC, whether it's Halo or Gears of War or Forza or whatever have you, is awesome for your brand because, again, putting them on PC, you're not competing with anybody really but yourself, right? Because you're putting them on a Windows machine. You own Windows, and what Microsoft is trying to do is trying to say, listen, PC and Xbox, we can coexist. And I would love to see more of that from Microsoft with the Scorpio machine. Lastly, what I would really love to see as well is more VR support. And though I'm not a VR player myself, it makes me sick and nauseous. I would love to see Oculus and Vive on that console. And I know we're going to have Oculus support, but I would love to see other platforms like Vive be supported. Make this the hub for VR. Make it so that people have choice when they're thinking about VR, and they have your marketplace to purchase games for VR. I feel like that's a great way of making money on VR without even having to really toy with the technology of VR. The last thing this console needs to do is lose the Xbox One branding. That branding is just synonymous with the Xbox One, and the Xbox is synonymous with everything I stated earlier, right? The canceling of games, the shuttering of studios, the DRM, the Kinect. If those things weren't still plaguing the system would be challenging and rivaling the PlayStation, and it's just not doing that. So this console needs to be something else. It needs to unify all the consoles into one brand, and that is the Xbox. That's why at the end of the day, to me, I feel like it should be named the Xbox, and that's it. Or just anything but the Xbox One brand. That's how I would go about it. Make sure you have games at launch that are awesome, that are cool, that are going to catch people's attention. Make sure you bridge your ecosystem and bridge out to other ecosystems to see if you can succeed. See if you can succeed where the Steam boxes failed, and make sure you give people choice and variety for this hub, if they want to play with mouse and keyboard or controller, or whatever their preference is when it comes to VR units. Make people have the choice, and make this console about choice. Make it about versatility, and that is what's going to sell this console at the end of the day. I don't care about how powerful your console is. What I care about is what is it going to do for me when it comes to bringing games onto the platform. That's the biggest challenge Microsoft has, and that's what really Microsoft needs to prove to me when they come out with this console. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments section down below. I'm sorry, I felt awfully sick, and I have this thing like a midget just punched me in the head, small person, whatever. She really knocked me in the head. I've been sick for at least a week now. It's it's been awful. But thank you guys for sitting through. I appreciate all the views. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate all the comments that you leave down below. I would like to know what you think about the Scorpio. And with all that said, if you like this video, you want to see more, please hit like, share, subscribe. It helps me out, shows me that you care. And with all that said, have a nice one, everybody.